Imagine a journey through some of the most awe-inspiring places on Earth, where history whispers through ancient walls, nature paints landscapes so breathtaking they seem unreal, and cultures come alive in vibrant, unforgettable ways. From the towering peaks of the Yellow Mountains to the mesmerizing reflections of Jiuzhaigou Valley's crystal-clear lakes and the timeless legends of the Forbidden City, this video will take you on an adventure through the heart of China's wonders. Grab your curiosity, pack your sense of wonder, and let's dive into the magic waiting to be discovered. 1. The Great Wall of China. Imagine a wall so long that it could stretch from New York to Los Angeles and back twice. That's the Great Wall of China. At over 13,000 miles, 21,196 kilometers, this monumental structure wasn't just built for decoration. Its primary purpose was to defend against invaders, and it took over 2,000 years to complete. Built by millions of laborers, many of whom never returned home, the wall is a testament to human ambition and determination. Walking along its ancient stones, you'll find sections that are perfectly restored, while others are crumbling and overgrown, giving the impression that nature is reclaiming its territory. The Badaling section, just 43 miles, 70 kilometers, from Beijing, is the most visited, offering easy access and breathtaking views. For adventurers, the Jiangku section, with its steep and rugged path, will challenge even the most seasoned hikers. On a clear day, standing atop the wall, you can see lush green valleys below and rugged mountain ranges beyond. It's a view so spectacular that it makes you wonder how anyone could have thought, let's build a wall right here. Fun fact, contrary to popular belief, you can't see it from space without a telescope, but standing on it in person feels just as grand. If you're visiting in the winter, snow covers the landscape, making it look like something straight out of a fairy tale. In summer, the surrounding hills burst into vibrant shades of green. Don't forget to try local snacks sold by vendors along the route. What better way to experience history than with a grilled skewer in hand? 2. The Forbidden City. Step into the Forbidden City, and you'll feel like you've wandered into a movie set. Think Mulan meets The Crown, but with dragons. This sprawling palace complex in the heart of Beijing covers 180 acres, and every inch tells a story of Imperial China. Built in the early 15th century, it served as the home to 24 emperors from the Ming and Qing dynasties. Walking through the massive red gates, you'll immediately notice the golden roofs of the halls. They gleam under the sun, symbolizing the emperor's divine power. The architecture is a perfect blend of beauty and functionality. Even the color scheme carries meaning. Red symbolizes happiness and prosperity, while yellow, reserved for the emperor, represents power and eternity. Inside, you'll find treasures galore, intricately carved jade, porcelain vases taller than a basketball player, and ancient scrolls painted with scenes of court life. It's a maze of courtyards, gardens, and grand halls. The Hall of Supreme Harmony, where emperors conducted state affairs, is the crown jewel, boasting a throne so ornate it seems fit for a fantasy novel. For a more personal touch, visit the emperor's private quarters. You'll see where he dined, prayed, and even napped. Fun fact, the city has 9,999 rooms because the number 9 is considered lucky in Chinese culture. If you get lost, don't worry. It happens to everyone, and honestly, it's part of the fun. 3. The terracotta army imagines stumbling upon an ancient burial site while digging a well. That's exactly what happened in 1974 when farmers in Xi'an unearthed the first of the terracotta warriors. Today, this site is one of the most mind-blowing archaeological discoveries in the world, and it's easy to see why. The terracotta army is no ordinary burial gift. It's an entire life-size army, complete with soldiers, horses, and chariots, all made of clay. There are over 8,000 warriors, and here's the kicker. No two faces are alike. Some have mustaches, others sport fierce scowls, and their hairstyles vary as much as their expressions. It's like a 2,000-year-old Instagram grid of ancient warriors. Each figure was built to protect China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, in the afterlife. The level of detail is astonishing. Their armor looks so real you'd expect them to march off the platform. The horses look ready to gallop, and the chariots are equipped with every imaginable detail, right down to the reins. The site is divided into 3 main pits, each offering a unique glimpse into this underground army. Pit 1 is the largest and most impressive, with row upon row of soldiers standing in formation. Pit 2 contains more specialized figures, including archers and cavalry. Pit 3 is the command center, complete with officers and high-ranking officials. Visiting this site feels like stepping into a time capsule. The dim lighting and carefully controlled temperature give the place an almost sacred atmosphere. Be sure to check out the museum nearby, where you'll find even more treasures, like bronze chariots and weapons. And don't miss the chance to pose with a replica warrior. Your friends back home won't believe the scale of what you've seen. 4. Zhangjiajie National Forest Park. Welcome to Zhangjiajie National Forest Park, the place that looks so magical it inspired Pandora from the movie Avatar. Located in the Hunan province, this park is home to over 3,000 sandstone pillars, some reaching heights of 1,080 feet, 330 meters. These towering spires are often cloaked in mist, making them look like they're floating in the clouds, a scene straight out of a fantasy novel. The park's most famous feature is the Avatar Hallelujah Mountain. After the movie's release, this once humble pillar became a global superstar. A glass elevator called the Beilong Elevator can whisk you 1,070 feet, 326 meters, up the cliffs in under 2 minutes, providing breathtaking views and a slight adrenaline rush. It's like riding an elevator into the sky. For the adventurous, there's the Zhangjiajie Glass Bridge, the longest and highest glass-bottomed bridge in the world. Suspended 984 feet, 300 meters above the ground, it's not for the faint-hearted. Walking across, you can see straight down to the lush valley below. People often take their first few steps with a mix of terror and exhilaration, and by the end, they're snapping selfies like seasoned daredevils. The park is a haven for wildlife too. You might spot mischievous macaques swinging from tree to tree, or hear the chirping of rare birds echoing through the forest. Hiking trails like the Golden Whip Stream lead you through tranquil valleys filled with streams and bamboo groves. It's an enchanting escape where nature feels larger than life. The Li River in Guangxi Province is like a liquid ribbon of jade, winding through some of the most breathtaking landscapes you'll ever see. Stretching 52 miles, 83 kilometers, from Guilin to Yangshuo, the river is famous for its karst mountains, those peculiar jagged peaks that seem to rise straight out of the water. It's so picturesque that it's featured on the back of the 20 yuan note, so yes, it's money worthy. A boat cruise is the best way to experience the Li River. As you drift along, You'll pass by villages, water buffalo grazing along the shores, and fishermen using trained cormorants to catch fish, a centuries-old tradition. It's like stepping into a living painting, with each bend revealing a new masterpiece. One of the highlights is the Nine Horses Fresco Hill, where locals say you can spot the shapes of 9 horses in the rock face. Legend has it that if you can see all 9, you'll have good fortune. No pressure though. Most people spot 3 or 4 and still leave feeling lucky. For a more active adventure, rent a bamboo raft and paddle along the quieter sections of the river. It's a serene experience, with nothing but the sound of your oar dipping into the water and the occasional bird song. In the evening, the town of Yangshuo comes alive with markets, music, and light shows on the river that will make you feel like you've stepped into a magical realm. Six, Yellow Mountains. The Yellow Mountains, or Huangshan, are China's most legendary peaks, known for their 4 wonders: hot springs, oddly shaped pine trees, seas of clouds, and jagged granite peaks. Located in Anhui Province, this UNESCO World Heritage Site has inspired poets, painters, and philosophers for centuries. Walking among its mist-shrouded peaks, you'll feel like you're in an ancient Chinese scroll painting. One of the most popular activities here is catching the sunrise. To do so, many visitors stay overnight at mountaintop hotels and wake up before dawn to trek to the best viewing spots. As the first rays of sunlight pierce through the clouds, the landscape transforms into a golden wonderland. It's an experience that makes the early alarm clock worth it. The aptly named guest greeting pine is one of the mountain's iconic features. This centuries-old tree, with its branches stretching out as if to welcome visitors, is so famous that it's practically a celebrity in its own right. Speaking of celebs, Huangshan is a favorite destination for Chinese filmmakers looking for epic backdrops, so don't be surprised if the landscape feels cinematic. For those seeking adventure, the Xihai Grand Canyon offers a challenging hike through some of the park's most dramatic terrain. The narrow paths, steep stairs, and jaw-dropping views make it a bucket list experience. And if you prefer a more leisurely visit, cable cars are available to whisk you up to the peaks, giving you a bird's-eye view of this natural wonder. Seven, West Lake. West Lake in Hangzhou is a shimmering jewel that has inspired poets, artists, and emperors for centuries. Covering an area of about 2.5 square miles, 6.5 square kilometers, it's not just a lake. It's a masterpiece framed by temples, pagodas, and willow trees that sway gracefully along its shores. Walking around West Lake feels like stepping into a Chinese fairy tale. The lake is divided into 5 sections by picturesque causeways. The Su Causeway, lined with peach blossoms in the spring, is a favorite spot for a leisurely stroll or bike ride. Imagine gliding along on a paddle boat, the water reflecting the surrounding mountains like a giant mirror. As you drift, you might catch a glimpse of locals practicing Tai Chi on the banks, or couples taking romantic boat rides under moonlit skies. One of the lake's most famous landmarks is the Leifeng Pagoda, perched on a hill overlooking the water. This pagoda is steeped in legend, famously linked to the story of the White Snake, one of China's most beloved folktales. Climbing to the top rewards visitors with panoramic views of the lake and city beyond. A perfect mix of natural beauty and urban charm. Don't miss the musical fountain show in the evening, where water jets dance to classical and modern tunes. It's a spectacle that lights up the lake and leaves everyone enchanted. And, of course, no visit is complete without a cup of Hangzhou's famous Longjing tea, best enjoyed at a lakeside tea house as you watch the world go by. 8. Gillan Rice Terraces. The Gillan Rice Terraces, also known as the Longji Rice Terraces, are an agricultural wonder and a testament to human ingenuity. Imagine stepping into a world where the hills are sculpted into giant green steps, each one reflecting sunlight like polished emeralds. Located about 60 miles, 100 kilometers from Guilin, these terraces have been cultivated for over 700 years by the local Zhuang and Yao ethnic minorities. Visiting in different seasons offers completely unique experiences. In spring, the terraces are filled with water, creating a mirrored landscape that photographers adore. In summer, they turn lush green as rice plants grow. By autumn, the fields glow golden, ready for harvest, and in winter, a blanket of snow transforms them into a frosty paradise. The Ping'an Village area is one of the most accessible and popular sections. A hike through this area offers stunning views, with paths winding through the terraces and traditional wooden houses perched on the slopes. Along the way, you'll meet locals in colorful traditional clothing, often selling handmade crafts or inviting you to sample rice wine. For the adventurous, the Dajai Terraces offer a more rugged experience with fewer crowds and more dramatic landscapes. Staying overnight in one of the guest houses gives you a chance to witness both sunrise and sunset, as the terraces seem to glow with an otherworldly light. It's not just a visit, it's an immersion into a way of life that has been preserved for centuries. Nine. Potala Palace. Sitting majestically on Red Hill in Lhasa, Tibet, the Potala Palace is a sight that leaves visitors speechless. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is a former residence of the Dalai Lama and one of the most iconic symbols of Tibetan Buddhism. At 12,139 feet, 3,700 meters above sea level, just getting here feels like an accomplishment, and the palace itself is like stepping into another realm. The palace is divided into two sections: the White Palace, which served as the living quarters, and the Red Palace, dedicated to spiritual study and prayer. Together, they contain over 1,000 rooms, filled with treasures like golden stupas, ancient manuscripts, and intricate murals. The sheer scale of it is enough to make you dizzy, and that's before you even start climbing its steep stone steps. From the top, the views of Lhasa and the surrounding mountains are breathtaking, literally, because the high altitude will have you catching your breath. The palace is surrounded by chanting monks, prayer flags fluttering in the wind, and the faint scent of incense lingering in the air. It's a sensory overload in the best possible way. Visitors are advised to take it slow due to the altitude, but the effort is worth it. Whether you're lighting a butter lamp in prayer or simply marveling at the artistry of the place, the Potala Palace offers a profound connection to Tibetan culture and spirituality that stays with you long after you leave. Tenth, Jiuzhaigou Valley. Jiuzhaigou Valley in Sichuan province is so stunning it feels like Mother Nature decided to show off. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is famous for its multicolored lakes, cascading waterfalls, and snow-capped peaks. Covering an area of 278 square miles, 720 square kilometers, it's a haven for nature lovers and anyone seeking a slice of paradise. The valley's lakes are its crown jewels, each one more dazzling than the last. Five Flower Lake, for instance, is so clear you can see the fallen trees resting at the bottom, while the water's colors shift between turquoise, green, and blue depending on the sunlight. Then there's Mirror Lake, which reflects the surrounding landscape so perfectly that it's hard to tell where the lake ends and reality begins. The waterfalls here are equally mesmerizing. Norilang Waterfall, one of the widest in China, cascades down with a roar that can be heard from far away. In winter, it freezes into a sparkling ice sculpture, adding a magical touch to the already enchanting scenery. Jiuzhaigou is also home to pandas, though spotting one in the wild is rare. More common are the golden monkeys, whose playful antics add a touch of whimsy to the tranquil setting. Hiking trails wind through forests of ancient trees, past Tibetan villages where locals welcome visitors with warm smiles and cups of butter tea. It's a place where time seems to slow down, allowing you to soak in every breathtaking detail.